Hi, it's Jim Huddy here, your clinical lead for chronic pain. It's time for the Spring 2020 update. Georgina's given me 6 minutes, so buckle up. Overall, the last 12 months has been really productive. The graphs continue to drop, and total prescribed morphine is down 24% from when we started 4 years ago. And the number of high-dose patients is even more impressive, a 37% reduction, which is brilliant. Well done to you. It's a real achievement. And we're the 6th best reducing CCG in the land. And we've been invited to talk about our work elsewhere, which is great. Well, it's great for me. Just a quick recap about our educational tools. Remember our videos for you guys about safe prescribing, safe deprescribing, and the all-important if I don't prescribe, what do I do, are all on the Cornwall formulary website. Plus, we've got information for patients. There's the grandiosely titled Chronic Pain, the Answers, which is all about self-management, the consequences of chronic pain and what to do about them. We've had some interesting and useful feedback from your side. We've contacted GP surgeries who've reduced their prescribing and asked them 5 questions.
About drivers to change, what strategies have been used, what resources are there to guide you, has there been any fallout, and if you had to advise other surgeries, what would you do or say? The majority of the drivers were regarding education, particularly these prescribing meetings, also the increased awareness of the risks of opioids and the change to the evidence base. Strategies, the MDT whole team approach was mentioned a lot, along with regular audits, use of practice pharmacists and social prescribers and writing to patients. Regarding resources, there's the pain team and the formulary videos were useful. Fallout, some patients were angry, but deprescribing was mostly tolerated pretty well or better than expected. And advice for other surgeries, again, the whole team MDT approach, plus continuity of care, regular reviews, having the conversations and audit.
What else have been up to? Well, we had a networking day for 60 of us at Chalisic House back in June, where we had expert patients mixing with community navigators, clinicians, the pain team, leaders from the CCG and CFT. Right, what's next? What are we going to do about medicines? What are we going to do about alternatives to medicines? Well, I'm going to start with the alternatives to medicines bit because we all struggle with that and it is the key to managing chronic pain. But how do we as GPs teach and train patients in the arts of self-management? Well, you'll be pleased to hear I don't think we can, and I don't think we should. We do have a responsibility to exclude underlying conditions, and it is our responsibility to manage medicines, and we do need an understanding of what self-management is. But can GPs provide ongoing training in physical, emotional and social challenges? No, they can't. So who's going to do that? Well, some patients won't need much, maybe a physio referral or directing to our chronic pain, the answers information. And on the other end of the scale, for the more disabled, there's the holistic deep dive provided by the pain team. But remember, they can only see a tiny fraction of all of our patients. So what about those in the middle? This is where the whole country is struggling, not just us. There are so many patients with so few medical professionals. They can't do it themselves without help, and they're too intensive for GPs, but they're not complex enough for the pain services. They have medical and emotional and social issues, so they fall between different providers of care. Well, this is the group that you and I and the pain team are going to be looking at over the next few years, because traditionally we've given them pills and a pat on the back, and that doesn't work. Things have got to change. We're going to find out how to best serve this group. We'll discover how to identify them, engage them and enable them to help themselves using the new tools like social prescribing and personalised care. We can move chronic pain in Cornwall towards a more rational, demedicalised model, which will free us up to focus on what we're trained for. And we're going to do it simply and quickly and cheaply with minimal impact on workload. For example, this is something that we're going to be doing in Perranporth, which I'm very excited about. We're going to text message invites to our pain cafe. So, secretary searches all the patients on particular analgesics, and then she text messages them an invite to the pain cafe down at the village hall. The pain cafe is the brainchild of Nikki, our social prescriber, who's successfully set up the Loss and Grief Cafe. Nikki arranges the venue, and she's going to run it. Hopefully with Sean, our expert patient. Hopefully he'll be there as well. And this is a non-clinical thing. So again, it's not adding to any workload issues. There might be a bit of medical input at some point, somewhere down the line, but it's not a community pain management program. It's a social inclusion, meeting peers, safe enabling kind of thing. And we'll see how the group evolves, and we're hoping it'll become self-perpetuating. It's quick, simple, cheap, and hopefully beneficial. We'll let you know how it goes. So that's one idea of how to reach out and engage. What about the self-management, social inclusion, skills coaching bit? Well, look, here's the thing. Okay, have you heard about the HOPE program? This is really exciting, and it's evidence-based, and it's free, and it's ready to go in Cornwall now. The HOPE program stands for Help Overcoming Problems Effectively. And it's a course developed by the University of Coventry and is being provided by Volunteer Cornwall. It helps people build confidence to manage long-term health conditions, whether they be physical or non-physical, or maybe even returning to work after a long absence, or being a parent of a child with complex needs. It isn't clinical, and sometimes people on the course upskill to become facilitators themselves, so it should grow and grow and grow. At the moment, we've got 12 facilitators in Cornwall, ready to go somewhere near you. Opportunities like this don't come up very often. So this is your homework, all right? At the least, I want you to go on the website, have a look around, contact some patients and suggest they join this group, or something like that. And I want it handed in by June. No excuses. Well, okay, to the bit we're more familiar with, medicines. Pregabalin and gabapentin and analgesic polypharmacy. Here's the graph of Cornwall's pregabalin prescribing, same as everyone else, going up, up, up. We're on the 81st centile. What are we going to do about that? Well, we've got a theory that some, and probably quite a few of these patients, don't have one of the licensed indications, which is namely epilepsy, neuropathic pain, generalised anxiety disorder, fibromyalgia for pregabalin, and epilepsy and neuropathic pain for gabapentin. So an audit of clinical indication will be in this year's incentive scheme, and obviously next year, if there's a high proportion, we're going to be sort of looking at that. Similarly, analgesic polypharmacy. We often see patients on multiple analgesics. Sometimes this makes sense, but quite often it doesn't, and sometimes it's downright irrational and unsafe. So we're going to look at this in the incentive scheme as well, with a view to next year launching a campaign, the Choose One to Lose campaign, and we're designing that with Keith Mitchell. Right, better go. Bye. Thanks.